Yeah, so basically, all I'm really trying to say at this point is that given all of the circumstances in which we um, predicate our resolve in terms of a consensual bias, um, whether driven socioeconomically, politically, religiously, or whatever, we really got to make sure that we're um, justifying it uh, upon appropriate terms. It's very difficult to make an assumption about anything without all the given information, obviously. Excuse me, I had lunch again. This pizza's so good. Pizza Hut is grease bombs, but oh, it tastes so good. Anyway, so this whole debate about um, restrooms, it's a forced debate, I believe. I don't really think that it's important at this point in time when we have people still being tortured in Guantanamo Bay. We've got worse things than that called the NDAA, which basically says that if you decide to do something like what I'm doing right now, speaking against the government and some of the evil policies that they have, I get to go to an internment camp um, indefinitely without jury uh, or any of that good business. Which was the point I was getting at in terms of the Russo brothers talking about how this is going on in their films. Captain America is very um, despondent on the whole idea, to say the least, about um, Shield convicting people before they were guilty. Okay, that's what is basically going on in the first film, The Winter Soldier, or the second film rather. This film is gonna, I believe, um, knowing the Russo brothers and how they work currently, that it's going to have a lot more to do with how a civil war may happen in the states. Second American Civil War in the states, I should say, and that's very dangerous because it's also premedicated. So while we're worried about, you know, bathroom preferences, we've really got to consider these things more. Whether Hollywood is trying to tell us, for whatever reasons they're trying to tell us, not like they have the most noble intentions around, obviously, but you have to kind of take the good with the bad. I mean, just like the internet. Um, cool, I didn't know I could do that. Just like the internet is a double-edged sword. They had the internet to help manipulate people through social engineering constructs, um, and also to tighten the web of control over us. Hence the World Wide Web. See why they call things what they call it. But it is also a double-edged sword. But they figured that by the end of you know us learning stuff, as the Bible says, that we'll know the wheat from the tares, as Christ used that analogy, metaphor, parable. Uh, we were able to use the internet as well. They knew we were going to use the internet to help solidify our movement of freedom and truth. Granted, but they figured it was going to be a cost that they could afford. Because at this point they really don't care. They think that they've won already. When it's funny that our Bible tells us that they're not even going to get to finish their plans. Christ will literally come back before they finish their plans. And considering they're very far behind their plans, because they're pretty much like the Decepticons, they're always fighting each other. I mean, and they can never see eye to eye, and that's it comes with the territory of evil. Everybody else wants to be that powerhouse, that higher power, so that they can attain their richly carnal desires to the best of their ability. For all of them, it's about power control. When I say they and them, and you want to use quotation marks in that, take it for what it's worth. It's basically just the people that believe Satan is God. Um, So you son of a biscuit. Um, so that's basically kind of where I'm coming from in terms of distractions. We've got to be real careful about distractions because they're everywhere. Hence, Star Wars Battlefield, which I am terrible at. I pretty much just got this game. It was reduced price, and like I suck. I am, never mind the fact that I'm legally blind. Yes, I'm a blind gamer. But even if I wasn't, I think I don't get the concept of this game. It's like a first person shooter. I'm not into first person shooters. I like the fact that I can use my lightsaber and knock a laser back at the stormtrooper. That feels great. That's pretty much my only victory. I haven't won one match in this. So if anybody has any gaming advice for me in this game, besides what I'm doing right now, go for it. I know it's not anywhere related to what I'm actually talking about, but it's related to the fact that it's a distraction. Okay. But I have a lot of people that know me and love me, and I'm always wondering, well, why do you always talk about that stuff? I mean, you practice it too, and blah blah blah, and you like comic books and video games, yeah. But I'm also talking about the things that need to be spoken about, not just engaging in these acts. And I don't commit idolatry. I don't love this more than I love God. So there does have to be a perspective there. And yes, this is part of the rant. I'm just kind of going on and on. My major point is no matter no matter what it is that we're told to love or not love, it's up to us to love or not love what we deem fit. And we all have a conscience. And our conscience is telling us, oh well, I mean, masturbation is okay. Well, heck, then that's on you because it's not. The Bible that tells us specifically, the scripture that I mentioned earlier. So Lacey Green, whether she meant to say that stuff or not, that's on her. Um, she is a smart person, it seems, and I'm pretty sure she can figure it out on her own. But these other distractions, I don't really care. I mean, if it's titled male, female, transgender, I don't care. I don't. In fact, I would always complain. I'd be like, well, why does a homosexual male get to come into a heterosexual restroom and have a free look at whatever it is they may or may not be looking at? Now, I didn't used to think this until this actually happened to me. I wasn't going around thinking bigoted ideas until some individual who was a homosexual decided to literally look over the urinal. Yes, this happened. This is a true story. And to this day, I'm pretty sure that the dude does not think I know. But if he watches these videos, he's probably knowing about it now. And you should be ashamed of yourself. If I was a homosexual male, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be going into the restroom looking for, whatever it is that they look for, or anybody looks for. And I didn't really think it was fair that was like that. I thought that, well, that's kind of silly. I mean, I could just go into the female restroom. I'm heterosexual. They thanks. They they're females. So what stops a male from doing that? It didn't make any sense to me. And then they actually do it. They actually make the transgender or whatever restroom, and then everybody's all in a flurry about it. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This is actually not too bad of an idea. Now I understand the social implications and why they're upset about it, because politically, you got to pretend you're a white ring conservative. And yes, I said white ring conservative. That was a mistake. That was a Freudian slip. But let's face it, man. There's a lot of people out there that are literally bigoted and have no real understanding of what the Bible is actually telling you, because you're getting it from a pulpit of a guy that was worshiping Satan to begin with. You have Masons who are actually your political. I mean, you're political, but you're religious leaders as well, and they're teaching the Bible and changing the name and then rearranging the doctrine to fit their political beliefs. Christ does not hate the sinner. Christ hates the sin. Is it true that in Leviticus does it say that it is an abomination to lie with man, or lie with man as you would with woman, and vice versa? Yes, it is also a sin. It is an adultery. That's why it's a sin. But I'm also guilty of committing adultery with people that I've been with in my past. So it's equal sin. There's nothing more than the other. And if they're going to address that, they should be addressing all of it equally, not just a specific political agenda. Because the liberals are on the rise. It's like, man, there are no liberals, there are no Democrats, there are no Republicans, there are no conservatives. You're all being brainwashed by the Hegelian dialectic. You're being told what to think simply because somebody else wants you to think it, and nobody else has the dexterity to explain the truth in the scriptures. Um, and that is not cool. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing it. And I'm just saying that if you're repressed about political injustice, religious injustice, masturbatory injustice, then that is honestly on you. Because instead of being repressed about something, express it the way God meant to have you express it, whether it be through love in a non adulterous way. That's what I'm going to say about that. Love in a non adulterous way through marriage, as the Bible states. Um, don't buy a ring for your spouse, because that is the ring of Saturn. You're doing what it is that they want you to do. They want you to they want you to have incantations on your marriage, simply by calling upon the name of Satan. That's why you're brainwashed to believe that a ring on this finger is going to somehow complete the marriage. It doesn't. In fact, it actually makes it worse when you have all these social problems in your marriage, religious problems, intimacy problems, whatever problems that marriages have. Sorry, I have a dry mouth. Whatever problems that marriages have, I switched to root beer. It's terrible. I'm gonna go to the dark side. Yeah, man. You know what? I can't even do it in a video game. I'm sorry. Um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So I mean, you got all these things about all these ideas that people are trying to tell you what is right and wrong, when the Bible has told you specifically what is right and wrong. And it's up to you to decide whether you want to use that doctrine or another wishy-washy doctrine. Not another wishy-washy doctrine. In my opinion, all of them are wishy-washy. I mean, that's one of the reasons why Hebrew Christianity is the most hated religion, is because it's the only one that got it right. And nobody likes that. Nobody wants to face the truth. Nobody wants to face God. Actually, nobody wants to face themselves in a mirror. Nobody likes to see the sins that they commit. I challenge myself to do that on a daily basis. On a daily basis, I need to know what it is that I'm doing wrong, because I know that angels report on me um, weekly to God. They tell me and about you and everyone else, according to the scriptures, that well, Mark did this week, God, blah blah blah. There's angels assigned to each person that tells him what we do, good or bad, and the second you find that out, whether you believe it or not, the second you find that out does stir your conscience, and it definitely stirred mine, because I believe. Um, but barring all of that, I just want to make sure that my understanding of reality um, is what God deemed real, and not what agendas deem real. Whoever they are, I honestly could care less. I'm not here to live by Luciferian or satanic ideas or ideologies. I'm not here to live for anyone else but God. And honestly, that's just the way it is. If you have, your own opinion, I will respect that, and we can sit down and discuss it. I don't really have a problem with that. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Lacey Green, no matter whether she's a kitty, no matter whether she's legitimate or not legitimate in her faith of anti-theism. Yeah, she's an anti-theist. Okay, she hates God. Her and all the other you know atheists that pick on God's exclusively, and then try to legitimize themselves a little bit more in atheist dogma, where they're arguing about themselves to themselves as if it gives some clarity and definition I guess legitimacy to what they are talking about. They do that. They're freaking pretending to be like the Christians that do that, and they're like, oh, this is wrong. You know, um, teaching, and this is not correct doctrine. He's not teaching this, this, and this. It really doesn't have much to do with that. It has more to do with what it is that you're willing to let go and give to the Most High when it comes to that. Now, you're not giving anything to anyone but yourself when it comes to atheistic ideas. I know I used to be agnostic Satanist, and it's not about anything but you. It's only about you. And if you really want to live your life only considering you, well, good luck with that, man. And yes, I'm being very facetious when I say luck, because I don't even believe luck exists. In fact, anybody that believes luck exists, you really, really should take that into account. Because the difference between luck and chance pretty much is next to null, but they mean two different things. So it's really weird. We're convinced to do everything wrong and convinced not to do everything right. When I started putting stuff together piece by piece, little by little, I began to realize that I don't care what people think of me more and more for the right reasons. Before, I didn't care what people think of me for all the wrong reasons. So go figure. Take that for what you will. I didn't mean to kill you from behind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you're bad. Um, yeah. So anyway, that's rant number 5. Take it for what it's worth. I know I ruffled some feathers here, but again, I really don't care. I'm not here to serve people. I will respect your opinion. Um, and if you want to discuss it further, hold on, Luke. Rock on. Um, if not, well, just take it to heart. Think about it. Realize that we are all in this together, and that we are going to be okay if we realize why we're here. God bless you in Yeshua's name.